that's all right. I'm happy just for us to just talk. That's fine.
Okay, I'll leave the contradictions one for later. But there was a couple ones that came up, maybe more, just more direct, and maybe like what you think about them. I don't know. You might not
Okay.
have the whole thing memorized, of course, but just your understanding of, again, from that straight reading, what would, again, assuming it's true, what is it saying basically on
Yeah.
these topics? That's where I was coming at with all these questions. But so a couple of them, because like I've got like a lot of tattoos. I got most of my body is covered in tattoos, and I was watching this video about a guy just, one of these preachers, one of the evangelical or anyways, very, very boisterous preachers saying how it's the mark of the devil. You mark your skin, it's the mark of the devil. Mark of the devil. You just kept, or you're marking yourself for the devil, and that, I don't know, in some way. But that's it. So tattoos. What does the Bible think about tattoos?
Okay. So in the Old Testament, a lot of people try and trip you up talking about the law, various laws and rules that are given in the Old Testament. But a lot of those were given to the nation of Israel. And the reason they had it was to set them apart from other people. So it was a deliberate thing. So, for example, their keeping of the Sabbath was so that other people wouldn't come in and trade with them on the Sabbath. And they couldn't wear certain combinations of clothes together. But that, again, was to keep them separate. So it was obvious these are different people. So to try and then apply that to Christians today, you shouldn't, because we're not Israelites living at that time at all. So when it comes to tattoos, what that's about is in Israel, and I suspect other places as well. I was thinking about piercings then. If I can get into piercings, I come back to tattoos. A piercing, if somebody was somebody's servant, so I won't be your servant or slave for say 7 years, but you would treat me well because servants were and slaves were treated very well. At the end of the 7 years, I might decide I want to stay with you forever. And then as a sign, you would then get a nail and drive it through my earlobe into the door. You'd be piercing my ear, but that's because I want to stay with you and I want you to keep looking after me and I'll keep serving you. And that's where piercings come from. So you'll get some Christians saying you shouldn't have piercings because it shows that you belong to the tattoo person who did it. But that's just a complete nonsense. It's like, that was a cultural thing then that had a certain meaning then. It doesn't have that meaning now. It's just body piercing. And with tattoos, I don't remember if tattoos have a significant meaning, but it's like, it's just body art. It's absolutely not a salvation issue. I haven't got any tattoos and I wouldn't want tattoos. No, with a few exceptions, I don't like tattoos. But that's just a personal thing. I don't like body art. I don't like lots of piercings. And you might get some really pretty girl with some nice pierced ears and stuff, but they would also look very pretty without the piercings. So it's like, it doesn't do it for me. And if someone has, like my thing with tattoos, supposing I had a really good dragon drawn on my arm, I didn't draw the dragon. I'm not the dragon. The tattoo artist drew a really nice dragon. I'm just carrying around his artwork. And I paid for it. I paid a tattoo artist so I can carry his artwork around. And it's like, what? So I didn't get it. So I got, like, I understand, like I've got a sister and she's got some of her kids' names tattooed on her arms and stuff. It's like, I understand that. Or you might have mom or your girlfriend's name. I understand people doing that. I also understand people regret that when they split up with the girlfriend. But yeah, it's just a personal, it might be an Aspie thing. Maybe I can't see it. One exception is you'll get, like in the armed forces, a particular platoon or unit, they go through a certain thing and they'll all get the same tattoo. I completely get that. That completely makes sense. And like if I was part of the platoon, I would totally do that. But that has a particular meaning. Or if even a sporting person, if you're a Man United fan and you've got a Man United logo tattoo, I understand that because you really like United. So I guess something like that had a real meaning. But there's a club over here, Newcastle United, and there's a striker called Andy Cole years ago. And he was brilliant, got like 30 goals a season. So it's like incredibly good. And so a Newcastle fan got an Andy Cole picture tattooed on his leg one summer, I think it was. Then that summer he moved club to Man United. It's like, you really don't want to be doing that.
Right? Yeah.
Wait until they're dead and their allegiances won't change, and then get the tattoo done.
And even then, you got to be careful. There's so many of these celebrities now. They come out even after they're dead. There's much controversy comes out about them.
Oh
After,
yeah, but I mean, one thing is just steer clear of any guy that was unmarried. It's like something could come out of the closet there.
hmm
It's like, why was he? I mean, there could be legitimate reasons.
hmm
So I think Cliff Richard is probably an exception to the rule, but generally, famous guys that they're never known to be with women, that's there could be something bad going on there.
Okay, no, but it answers my thing about, and even about other laws too. I think one of my earlier questions was about that too. You know, the importance of the Old Testament laws
Right. The
and
point is,
how, yeah, and I guess you're telling them
if you
that
could
some things
keep the Old
apply.
Testament law, then you're righteous. But the thing is, it was impossible to keep the law. No human can possibly keep the law.
Mhm,
And if you break one of the 10 commandments, you broke the entire law. And
mhm,
so, time and time again, it's shown in the Bible, it's actually impossible to keep the law.
mhm,
But
mhm.
then Jesus did keep the law. He's the only human that's ever kept the law. Because it's impossible for a normal human to keep it, because you can't possibly not do any of the 10 commandments.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I can think of some real easy ones to to
Yeah.
break. Yeah, just like coveting itself, like that's just a super easy one to break. Like if coveting is just kind of a desire within yourself, like, oh, that guy's got a nice car, oops, commandment broken.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it just, that's how easy it is. But yeah, no, but yeah, the laws about different things, and the meaning of it too, like you say, to get pierced. And I should have too. That's one of the things I wanted to do, and I was doing it like for part of it, but look up the scripture that at least I can find that refers to it.
Yeah,
The
if
points that
you
I'm
find,
saying.
you really Google it online, then I'll be able to say, okay,
It
what
should
the
be
root is so and so.
okay. That's what I should do with each of these points then, is
But also a
include.
lot of
Yeah.
things like what the Bible saying, you could say tattoos, piercings, all sorts of things. And pretty much the standard answer that I would give to start with any of them is it's not a salvation issue.
If it's not a salvation issue, and that was
No,
actually one of the, yeah.
a lot of them are not salvation issues. But the thing is, if you are saved and you do have a relationship with Christ, then you naturally wouldn't want to do these bad things.